could go back 5 years, these are the lessons I would have paid to learn sooner. It would have saved me so much time, heartbreak, and confusion. I want to share them with you so maybe your journey will be a little bit smoother. Some of these lessons are simple, some are hard, but all of them are priceless. Energy is your currency. Everything you give your attention to grows even if you don't want it to. Energy is your currency, so you're spending it whether you realize it or not. If I would have learned this sooner, I would have saved so much time wasted on the wrong people, habits, and thoughts. So like a lot of us, I used to scroll endlessly on social media thinking it was relaxing, but at the end of the day I just felt drained and anxious. The energy that I gave away could have been spent on doing something that nourished me, like reading, journaling, or creating, probably editing. Something you could do is track your energy for a day. Notice what lifts you and what drains you, and make a little list. You could do columns, you could do it on your phone, in your journal, and then pick one small thing to replace that energy draining activity with one that gives back. You can feel more powerful in your energy. Boundaries are spiritual work. Saying no does not make you a bad person. Say that again. Saying no does not make you a bad person. It means you're protecting your soul. If I had paid to learn this sooner, I wouldn't have felt drained or resentful from saying yes to everything. I used to say yes to everything and ended up burnt out. When I started saying no to things that really didn't align, I found space to grow spiritually and emotionally. Something you could do is practice a micro boundary today. So even saying no to an invitation or taking a pause before accepting an invite from someone to see if you actually want to do that, not just because you're so conditioned to saying yes all the time. And notice how it feels to honor yourself. You'll feel amazing. Healing isn't linear. You might feel healed one day and broken the next. Healing doesn't move in a straight line, it's a spiral. If I had learned this sooner, I wouldn't have felt like I was failing. I wouldn't have felt like I was failing when old wounds resurfaced. I thought I was over a childhood wound, and then a conversation triggered it. Instead of being frustrated, I just saw it as my soul revisiting the lesson so that I could fully, integrate it. So that it can make sense. Something you could do is keeping a trigger journal, so you could write it down so that you notice reoccurring patterns and how they're triggering you and how they're teaching you. And it also helps you celebrate small wins along the way. If you're looking back at it, you can see how you're growing. Isolation is initiation. Being alone isn't loneliness, it's initiation. A necessary space for your soul to grow. If I would have paid to learn this sooner, I wouldn't fear my own company or rush through self-discovery, because those are things that build you into the person that you are. Why would you rush that? So when I was in 9th grade and my parents moved us to 20 acres of land away from everybody we knew in a whole nother city, I felt lonely, but in that silence I also found my intuition. Connecting with nature and discovering my true self is what came from that. I would recommend trying 10 to 20 minutes of solitude a day. No phone, no nothing. Just presence. Watch what your mind, body, and spirit will reveal to you just from taking a minute and having that solitude. Gratitude shifts everything. Gratitude is more than saying thank you. It's a way to rewire your perception from lack to abundance. If I would have learned this sooner, I would have noticed the blessings in my life instead of dwelling on what I didn't have, which seemed to be a big thing for me. I always was like, I didn't have. Since my birthday, August 3rd, I've been writing my gratitude in my journal every day. 3 things I'm grateful for consistently. Slowly, I've noticed my anxiety definitely has softened from being so anxious the more that I focused on what I'm grateful for. You could start a nightly practice before you go to bed and just write something very simple that you're grateful for. The sun on your skin, being able to journal, maybe even just like words of affirmation, anything. Not everyone is meant to go with you. Some people aren't meant to stay in your life forever. Growth sometimes means letting go. Not always, but sometimes it does. If I had paid to learn this sooner, I wouldn't have wasted time with people who weren't aligned with my path. I had friendships, relationships, family ships that just felt heavy, and when I released them, I made space for people who really aligned with my journey, and it is wonderful. Evaluate your relationships. Do they uplift or drain you? That's an easy way to decipher if you should maybe consider if this is somebody you should keep around. Identify one step you can take to release what no longer serves you. Your intuition whispers before it screams. Your intuition is always speaking. Always. Even if you think it's not, it's always speaking to you. Whether it's softly, maybe you're just not listening. It's always there. We usually ignore it until it becomes a shout. If I had learned this sooner, I would have avoided so much unnecessary stress and mistakes. I ignored these gut feelings that I was having about a job opportunity, but then I later realized that I definitely dodged burnout. I dodged burnout with that, and I finally listened to myself. Something you can do is take 3 moments today to check in with your intuition before making any decisions, whether they're big or small. Check in with yourself first. What is she saying? What are you not listening to? These are lessons I wish I could have paid to learn sooner. I hope sharing them helps you see your path more clearly and saves you some of the time and energy I spent learning them the hard way. If one of these lessons resonated with you, please let me know in the comments. And if you want more soft life, spiritual diaries, consider subscribing. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I'm sending you love and light, good vibes, healing, growth, all that great stuff. Happy day, night, whatever it is for you. See you later.